We can see from this rendering that there's quite a bit of work to do left still. I need to put base molding. I need to fix this stacked wall. I need to put crown molding across the top. I need a railing that goes across here. I need to put some gypsum board here. I need to change the material of the windows. And for some reason, these windows have a blue tint to them, so I need to fix that as well. So there's plenty of work to do, but what I want to do in this tutorial is simply cut this opening out so that we can see the fireplace, because whoever made this fireplace family, which I downloaded from Revit City, they did not include it cutting the opening here. Now, you can see that it does that when you put in a door, it cuts the opening, and we could have had that in this model or this family, but it wasn't. So the three things I'm going to do is add the gypsum board here, put a railing across my bridge, and cut this opening out. So the first thing, well, let's just cut the opening. So we're going to go to the view. I need to click on the wall, and I need to say, well, I double click on it, so I believe you can see that the magenta line is already there, so it's ready to be modified. And I'm simply going to change the profile of this opening. This is similar to a void, but I'm just going to cut that profile out of the wall. And so we go like there. And now you can see in this view that we can actually see in the fireplace. And if we take a look at the 3D view, now you can see the logs in the fireplace behind there. So that was pretty simple to do. Now let's go put that gypsum board in right across here. I'll make this realistic so you can see what I'm talking about. You saw it in the rendering, but we'll see it here in this 3D view now too. So you can see that I still have my 2x12s are exposed. I have to put some gypsum board in there. So let's go back to the first floor. I'm going to make sure I have a section cutting through there, and I do. So I'll say go to view, and that is occurring right here. And let's move that guy back if we can 5/8 of an inch. And then I'm going to put an extrusion right here, which is the 5/8 gypsum board. So architecture, component, model in place. This is really a wall now, so I'm going to call it a wall. And make an extrusion. I have to pick a plane now where I want that extrusion to start. So I'm going to try to pick that wall. So tab, tab, tab. I'm not grabbing that wall. So let's see if I can pick another plane. Can I pick the plane? No, it's not letting me grab that either. I'm trying to pick a plane because Revit wants me to define. Yeah, let's see, maybe I can pick a plane on here. Nope. All right, so I'm going to X out of that, X out of that. This is fine being recessed like that. I'll go back to my first floor, and I'll actually put in a plane. I've added a reference plane to my quick access toolbar, and the way I did that was I went to my reference plane and simply right-clicked, and it said add to quick access toolbar. So I use a lot of reference planes, so it makes sense to add that here. So let's put that reference plane in right here. And I'll give it a name. I'm going to call it fireplace wall. So now I have a reference plane. I'll go back to my section. And now I can say architecture component model in place. I said it was going to be walls. Revit gave the name of walls 1. I'm going to do an extrusion. Revit saying, show me the plane you want to start with. So I'm going to say fireplace wall. So now it's starting at the fireplace wall. Whatever my constraints are, it's going to be starting at the fireplace wall, and I don't want it to be marble. I want it to be gypsum board, gypsum wall board. And I'm going to define that by this rectangle. I know that offset is 5/8 of an inch now. So there it is. And I'm going to just say minus a foot plus a foot. And you'll see how that applies in a second. We'll go back to our C. Oh, that's good. I'll just say okay to that. And I'll say okay to that. Now let's take this section and bring it over and look at what I just did. I'll flip the section, go to the view, and I should be able to see. That's not necessarily the view I want. First floor. Yes, it is. That's the view I want. I'm going to bring it back just a little bit and increase my depth of range. And we'll go back and look at that view again. Now I should be able to see that. Here's the extrusion that I put in. It's a foot on this side and a foot on that side. I knew I was going to come back here and change the depth of it. So here we go. And so I knew I just wanted to get it into the model. So now I have my gypsum board across there. Let's go back and look at that 3D view. Now you can't see the wood anymore. Now you see the gypsum board. So I said we're going to cut this. We're going to add this gypsum board, and then we're going to go to the second floor. And I think I turned off the floor. So VG, and sure enough, I did turn off the floor. I had it unchecked, so now I can see the floor. And I'm going to put a railing across from here to here. So that's architecture, railing, sketch a path. So we're just going to sketch the path where we want the railing to be. And say, okay. Now we'll go back and see what I just put in there. Go to that view. Now you can see I have a railing all the way across. In the future tutorials, we'll talk about how to change the appearance of that, really customize it. But for now, I just want to get railings in. So back to the second floor. Now you can see the railing on that side. Come back to railing again, sketch a path. And I just want to put my railing across here. And say, okay. So now if we look at this section, you can see that there's a railing there on both sides of my bridge. Now maybe it should move over a little bit farther this way or that way. I'm not going to be too concerned about that at this point. And you can see some of my downlights that are in the ceiling properly located. So that looks pretty good. And just to show the rendering of the few things that we did, that I did, I cut the hole in the gypsum board so we could see the fireplace and the logs and the fire glowing there. I added the gypsum board across the bridge here, and I put the railing in. Now we'll need to change the material of the railing, but again, lots of fine tuning to do, but the bulk of the design work is done, and now it's just adding all of the fine details to it. But it's starting to look pretty good.